What's going on YouTube? This is Deke back with another Sorare video. So today we are getting into a little bit of planning. So planning and looking forward in Sorare. So one of the biggest things that I think can separate you from others in terms of just kind of the overview of the game is planning ahead and zigging where other people zag. Midweeks. Midweeks is the best example of this because not a lot of teams play midweek. The English Championship is one that you have a ton of utility that you can bring steady rewards. For example, this year, Burnley's under 23 players absolutely printed ETH and under 23 rewards for people who had Muric, Harvey Bayer. That defensive stack, it was just clean sheet after clean sheet and just racking up rewards in those midweeks. So what I do, and this isn't the be all end all, but what I do is I have all of my players. I keep track of them, and I keep track of every game week. So we are in 371 right now. Lineups are locked. Players in red either don't start as far as goaltenders and are injured. Sar, Yari, Mitsuda with a terrible injury that is brutal. With my gallery forwards, just don't look very good right now. But that's not here. And then my blues are my super rares, so I kind of just go that way. Under 23 gallery is pretty much my thing. So the years that are kind of there, and then any kind of sort of collectability, like my Luis Barraza 1 out of 100, Jack Mayer 1 out of 10, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what I do. I have their team, and then SO5, what competitions are we playing? I know all of them, but I just have them listed just kind of to break it down. So what I do is I put in their entire schedule. So I go in server data and I go through. If it's an away matchup, it's a home matchup, I look ahead. So as far as game weeks, so something to know, the odd game weeks are your weekend game weeks. This did flip-flop during after the World Cup. Odd game weeks are weekend, even are weekday, so the midweeks. So as you can see here, the midweeks, the even numbers, there's a lot less. So planning ahead, if you look out further and you have maybe 4 guys playing, if you look on the market like a month prior and are able to pick someone up at a cheaper price, you can honestly, if you wanted to do this, you could flip them the week of people trying to buy the players. This upcoming midweek is a prime example for 372. So if you look at my gallery, I have a ton of MLS players. That's kind of how I built my gallery. I have Europe players, but I wanted to really go hard this summer. Whenever only MLS, Asia, the Americas, Argentina, Brazil, etc. are playing, that's when I'm trying to win my rewards. Anything that I got beforehand is just extra. I want to win some, European players if I can to kind of stack up, and I will make some purchases for European players in the off season. But my goal is to stack all my rewards this summer. That's kind of how I structured it. I think at U23 I'm in a really good position as long as I can't take too many more people going down, or I'm just thin forward in my opinion. So if you take a look here at 371, that's your standard weekend. Everybody's playing other than like Cincinnati's off. Look at 372. I am in a really good shape that I can put out multiple lineups. If Hassal was starting like he should have, I did kind of plan on having 3, but I did pick up Chris Brady. So at under 23, I'm pretty set. I really like my lineup, and then my leftovers, I'll probably put in maybe either a cap 240 lineup if I can, or I don't know where else I'll put them. Maybe All-Star, try and go after All-Star. Rare, not really sure about with my Barraza. But if you take a look here, I don't have the best matchups as far. LAFC is in a smash spot as long as they don't do too much as far as rotating, things like that. But take a look at 374. So this is kind of my entire thing. I have Alan Varela playing Boca Juniors, and that's my lone player. If you are, I mean, that's a couple weeks out. if you're trying to win rewards, not a lot of teams are playing. And on Sorare data, you can see exactly who's playing. So what I do is I literally have in my calendar, just as like a reminder to set my lineups as well, but I literally have every game week mapped out for the entire season, Leagues Cup, everything. So I am set on everything. I know it's kind of like a lot of grunt work, especially if people have bigger galleries. It's really hard to do it, just time consuming. But I went through everyone's schedule, and I know exactly who I have playing, and I'm set out further. So hopefully, as I add more players, I pick up some more, especially maybe like add some more Boca players or Argentinian players to kind of get me through here. But if you think about it, okay, Europe's going to be back then. I'm going to fill in those. So I have them all the way out through international. I think December 2nd is as far as I go from it. So that's what I do. So let's now take using that and let's make that into something that is beneficial for Sorare. So now let's switch over. This is next game week, 372. So as far as my MLS gallery, here's the under 23 people that have 5 appearances out of the last 15. Here's the goaltending pool. Okay, pulse count. Nope, not starting. Melee is a starter. Schulte still is. Is Room going to be back? I doubt it. There's a lot going on. Pentemis is coming back. Will Sirois be the goalie? Most likely, but could be a switch. Celentano is very locked on. He'll definitely be there. Marks, he's injured. He lost his spot. And then you have Chris Brady. And I don't really know anything about Cam Palat or Wakahara. You'll have to let me know on those two guys. I know Wakahara has been starting a few matches, but these are the only keepers that you can possibly have. So not only do I think like Chris Brady, as you can see, his floor price is 0.9. No one's ever paying that, but it is 0.42. If you list it at 0.5, somebody might try and make a lineup. Probably not, but you never know. And as you can see here, there's not a lot of teams that are going to have goalies, and these are the goalies to pick from. So, for example, I have Chris Brady. If he can put up a solid performance, like 60 points, that is such an edge on the entire field. If we go to defense, I'm just dropping this back down to 5, and we'll just see who are the best D. We do have, some midweek Europe as well. But like for my gallery, I have Palacios, I have Tolkien. Keep going down here. I have Kirkes. Excuse me. You see some of these guys, Jack Mayer, I have. So as far as my gallery is so built for this midweek MLS matchups. If we go to midfield, you're going to see the same thing. Don't have him. I don't have a lot of the top guys. I kind of didn't do great with that. But now looking at this, I think this is not under 23 rare. So here's kind of the mock that I did. Talking through it, this makes sense to 100% go for Rare Pro. So with this, again, Rare Pro, you're going to need one of these goalkeepers. A lot of people don't have MLS galleries to be able to play. Could I know the reward pool might not be as good, but could I podium something? If all my guys play, we have a solid outing. Just kind of taking a look at who I could throw out there. I could have these guys. At forward, I don't love any of these positions. Velasco, I'd love to see him back and performing, against the Whitecaps. So he should play this week. So let's throw Velasco in there. And, I don't know. So I have a lot of choices, but the thing about this is my backup, I'm going to put an all-star rare, and it's going to be a really solid team. So I'm too deep. Pretty solid. So I think like maybe my backup, I throw in an LAFC stack. I'll probably change this 100 times beforehand, but let's just, for the sake of the video, let's throw Puig in there. Yeah, let's do that. On the road at Columbus is a little tricky, but we'll just throw Velasco's at just to get rid of it. So let's move on, and let me just throw an all-star rare lineup and just kind of, this should be a lineup that competes as well. Barraza hasn't had a clean sheet. Orlando City has actually been better on the road than at home, so maybe not the worst thing. We'll see how the Red Bulls at home against New York City, how that goes this weekend. But let's do like a mini LAFC stack with Tillman, Opoku, and Palacios. And then maybe like John Tolkien. Toronto's injury ravished. Yeah, and then excuse me, cough's going crazy. Yeah, I mean, I like that team as well, and I feel like that could get rewards as well. And then I could even do another one, and people don't have people playing, so just throw a 0 in at goalkeeper. Probably not the 30 cap, and then build around that. So planning ahead is so big in this game that if you don't plan ahead, I'll be the first one to tell you, I've made so many mistakes in this game. I've invested, and a lot of my investments have gone terrible. I mean, I've bought the absolute high on a ton of players. I love the game, and just kind of picking up little things along the way, I wish I knew from the beginning. So if you're kind of watching this video and this helped you, I hope that you use this, and this kind of helps you avoid these mistakes. There's time and time again, whenever I played limited, I'd be a player short, and that game week right before, I'd buy and I'd pay 2x of what it is. And after the game week, obviously the price goes down, and I made so many of those mistakes. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully this kind of steers you in a way to plan out for each game week and know what you're doing before the game week. So hopefully you guys like this, and we'll catch you next time.